Hello guys, thank you so much. Welcome to my YouTube channel. This is registered nurse Richard Ogachi, and thank you for subscribing to my YouTube channel. It's been great, it's been nice, so far so good. I promised that I'll be posting a video at least every day, so please watch out for a video every day in my YouTube channel. Thank you so much, and my content revolves around issues cutting across healthcare and of course life as a registered nurse. How do you navigate through life working as an RN, and then like the normal life that happens to us, because life happens. We are living in the world, and life is happening, things are going on, taking care of children, having my wife and having spouse, just generally sharing stories about how experiences about how life is going on. So today, I wanted to take this opportunity to, based on the questions that I get on my social media, I want to break down the process of getting to the US as a registered nurse. And I think it's one of the most clearest pathway for you to get to the US legally. I mean, there are many other ways. We have different ways, like you can get a lottery green card. The applications are still like suspended for now, but they are promising that there will be communication soon that the program will be back on again. They are trying to change the rules, but that's also one of the easiest way of getting to the US. But they only gave 55,000 visas all over the world to people in countries that has the most, the fewest people in the US. And this is just random selection that will be done, and if you get, fine. If you don't get, there are other means. So you can come to the US as a visitor and visit as a tourist, come to the US to visit or attend a function, which may be a graduation, or you've been invited by friends to come and attend a party, and maybe you've been given a scholarship to come and study. There are many pathways, but I wanted to just explain and articulate clearly what is the cost and what is the process of getting to the US as a registered nurse. So first of all, I wanted to say that there are many agencies, staffing agencies that get nurses from Africa, from all over the world actually, because I've realized also that like there are nurses who are moving from the UK to the US, from the Philippines. Most of the nurses come from the Philippines for sure. From most African countries, we're talking about Kenya, Uganda, Ghana, Nigeria, Zimbabwe, South Africa, Ethiopia, Egypt. As a registered nurse, you have a clear pathway to come to the US as a skilled worker. So I wanted to break down what is the expectation, and maybe in terms of finances, how much money is it gonna cost you, and then what happens, how do you navigate through. So the different kind of agencies, we are talking about big and established companies and firms. Then we have other smaller. They have different packages for you to explore how you want to land in the US. They all will get you in the US, but the different established ones want to give you like an experience of immigration or transition to the US. So all these agencies, the catch is that they are able to help you get the specific type of visas. mostly they are giving B3 visa, which is a skilled worker. So what happens is they have a system where they have their own attorneys, their own staff, their own attorneys, and generally just staff who are employed on full time. And this staff are able to guide you, the employees by the company. They are supposed to, they guide you through the entire process. They help you get ready for immigration. That's cutting across from from you, what you need initially. The first step ever is to pass NCLEX exam, which is a board exam that gives you a license to practice nursing in the US. So these agencies, they have staff and they have a program online, and they're able to guide you through preparation for the NCLEX exam, and then all the way until you get to do the exam. And when you pass, they are able to tell you that you passed. And then after you pass, then of course you proceed to the subsequent steps, including now paying for the visas and then booking an appointment, doing the medical checkups before you are able to be given the visa, go to the embassy for an in-person interview. And after that, then you are granted the visa, and then now you're ready to travel to the US. So that whole process takes time. There are so many factors that affect how fast you transition, or how fast you immigrate, or how long it takes you to get to the US is dependent on so many factors. The first one, I think, is the retrogression issues. That's visa priorities. You know, if you have these priority dates are given to different countries based on the number of visas issued at a specific period of time within a given period of time in that particular country. So what usually happens, this is one of the most delaying challenge at times. But again, when the visas or the cases get current, it moves so fast. But that's one of the factors that affects your process of immigration. Number two, another is how fast you complete assignments. Like, they send you a lot of assignments. I send you, do your driving test, do your medicals, do your preparation for NCLEX exam. They have different modules that you have to complete before you are ready to transition. So as fast as you do those processes or the assignments, then of course you get to move faster. So you really have to be very focused. But of essence is the amount of money that is required for the whole process. So different individuals need a different type of maybe amounts for you to transition and move. So this is based on how big your family is. If you're married, you have children and a spouse, of course, the agencies will only cater for the staff who they've directly got a job in the US. The rest of the people, the primary applicant will be able to shoulder their costs. Like, you are able to raise funds for their transition. That means you have to raise funds for their air tickets, for their, of course, their stay. I mean, their in-person interviews at the American embassy, and then also for green cards, because you have to pay prior before you travel. So the whole amount you need in terms of resources, it's dependent on the number of people you have in your family, or how many you are in your family. If you have 3 kids or 4 kids, you'll have to pay for each. when you go for the in-person interview at the American Embassy. But of essence is the cost implications. For the primary sponsored candidate or staff, they pay everything for you. That's, I think, maybe the only thing they don't pay for is the documentation. At the Nursing Council of Kenya, they do document verification. That expense you pay yourself. And then also like verifications with CGFNS also, I think you pay for yourself. And no, I think maybe they pay, I'm not sure, but it's not too much money. They almost all the costs they shoulder. They pay for you the air tickets, and then when you get to the US, they help you like establish and settle at your specific assignment place by trying to get you the vehicle that you will buy for you to be able to move around. They'll be able to, they have pre-negotiated rates for car loans. And also they will help get a lease for an apartment, because getting to rent a house in the US, you have to have referral and you have to have like a history. If you don't have history, then you have to put more down as deposit for security, because they don't know you. You don't have history living in the US. When you have lived in the US and you're moving to a different house based on the number of your bank statements to show your income, then it's easier for you to be given a home or a house. So I wanted also to give you another overview of what it means when you are told that the agencies pay everything. That's the catch, and we jump on that because we know it's free. Which in this case, having now looked back, it's not free. It costs you a lot of money, because these guys, they shoulder all the costs, and then they deduct from your paycheck every month, every week, how the money that you make, income, they deduct specific amount for them to recover the money they spent on you. So let me try to make this very clear for you. So I don't know, NCLEX exam for you to book at Pearson's, before they brought the testing center to Africa, that's South Africa and Kenya, people used to travel to India. The same way the agencies would cater for the flight tickets to India and then book the NCLEX exam for the candidates. And then you travel back to Kenya, you go to India and do the exam and go back to Kenya. Now it's even easier that the testing center is in Nairobi. So you're able to do the NCLEX exam within around Nairobi. That's one of the, they made things so easy for the Kenyan nurses, because I know there are many other African nurses who are coming from other countries to Nairobi to take the NCLEX exam, because it's also nearest testing center from their countries. So let me break down for you, then you'll be able to at least get a glimpse of what the cost is, because you realize nothing is for free. Nothing is free. The moment you're told that there's something that is free, you must know that someone is paying, that somebody has paid for to make it free for you, to make you access it for free. So what usually happens is, when these agencies get you to the US, let me do a calculation for you so that you can get clearly what this means. So if you are assuming they're helping you also prepare and pay for the NCLEX exam, and that's why, by the way, if you are a registered nurse, you should be able to make sure you at least shoulder the cost for the NCLEX exam, so that these people can only claim, or at least go focus on getting maybe the amount they spent in terms of flight tickets and the immigration, that is petitioning the immigration to give you a visa. That's a permanent residence visa. So it's different companies have specific number of hours you must work for 2 to 3.5 years, based on how fast how many hours you work in a week. That's going to determine how long you stay in the contract. But let me calculate for you, because I was privileged to see how much money one of the companies was paid and how much they were paying their staff. So one company was paying the nurse $35 an hour, but they were billing the hospital. They were billing the hospital $100. So that means they were making more money. They were making more money per hour from the candidate, from the staff, more money than what the staff was earning. So they were billing, I think it was $90. So let's do the mathematics and then, so if you work for this company for 3.5 years, some of the contracts are very clear. Like, for example, one of the agencies, you have to work for 6,000 hours for them. So 6,000 hours, and they're billing the hospital. They've been able to get you a job in. They're billing them $80 an hour. So, and they're paying the nurse $35. So it's 80 minus 35. That's $50. They're making $50 an hour from you. You're the one who's showing up in the floor, and you're the one who's doing the job. $50 an hour. So they have a target of yours. You have to work for them for the contracts most of the nurses have signed. They work for 6,000 hours. So $50 they make from you in an hour times 6,000 hours. That's $300,000. That's $3,000 in 3.5 years, or 2 years, or even that's for the highest so far I've seen. You're supposed to work for 6,000 hours. And then there are other agencies that you work for 4,000 hours, 4,200 hours. 4,200 hours times, let's say, that's one contract that we saw, that the nurse was being paid $35, and the hospital was billed $80. Let's do 4,200 hours times, assuming these agencies have to make either half of the money they pay you or more than half. They at least make more than half. At least half. Let's say half. So if they're paying you $40, then they are billing the hospital $80. So assuming they make the least, which is half what they're paying you, it's 4,200 times 40 hours, $40 an hour, which is times 4,200 times 40. That's $168,000. So the contracts range between 4,000 to 6,000 hours you have to work for these agencies, so that they can recover the money they spent on you, which I don't know how they get into these figures. Anyways, maybe other agencies require that you work less hours. I don't know which one you can work for 2,000 hours maybe, or how much money you need to pay back, how much money you need to pay them, because so it's $160,000 for the least 4,200 I did. So calculate based on the contracts that you've had other people have negotiated, try to find then how much they signed against the number of hours, how much they are making. That one nobody knows. Most of us don't know. Even the one that I'm aware private to is an email that was sent to one of their staff by mistake, showing the amount that the hospital paid the agency. So how much money do these people charge? They're supposed to recover from you. You're supposed to work to pay them back in 2 years or 2.5 years, up to 3 years, up to 3.5 years if you are slow enough. So we've done an average of 4,200 times 40, which they are making from you per hour. So it's 4,200 times 4 times 40, which is $168. So assuming it's a Kenyan nurse, so you are supposed to calculate $168, change into your local currency rates. $168,000 times, like, let's say it's Kenya shillings, times 128 is 21 million shillings. So the cost of you getting to the US, come work for the agencies. I've taken an average of 4,200 hours you have to work for them for 2.5 years or 3 years. Or one agency is signing nurses at $6,000, 6,000 hours, which is gonna be like something crazy, more than $200,000. They're getting per hour from you. So this is the money, because you see, they're getting all this money because they're able to negotiate contracts. They negotiate higher amounts than what you can negotiate directly to the hospital. So assuming you are sensitive enough to know that, then if you exited their contract and go negotiate the contract directly with the specific hospital, you're not able to get that 80 per hour as a staff, as the hospital staff direct hire. You're not able to get 80. So they do negotiate that so that at least they get those kind of rates, because they have business overheads they have to pay. But you see, we always don't look at it that way. But we look at what we get, or what we've been able to get is the green card, which is permanent residence visa that is valid for 10 years. So that's the cost, $168,000, which is 20 million Kenya shillings. So could you get 20 million Kenya shillings to pay and forfeit using the agency? Or maybe you can reduce the amount. I don't know significantly how much you can reduce, but I know when you hear that somebody says that something is free, it's never free. It's expensive. It costs more than you think. And the moment they tell you it's free and you jump on it and thinking it's free, it's not free. Someone is paying for it. And if you don't know who is paying for it, then you are the one who is sleeping. You are the one who doesn't know what's going on. So please, it's not supposed to scare anybody that the cost of things, it costs more than you think, and it's more expensive than you think. But you know what? The value is, there's always value, because you get what you could not have got elsewhere. So please, nurses in all over the world, I know they're jumping in this, and I know this is the right thing to do. Jump on it and do what you have to do, and be all you can be. That should be 24/7, 365. Thank you so much. This is Richard Ogachi, registered nurse, and still bumping up and going at it and just be grateful for what God is doing. Come on. See you next time. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.